Have you ever spent an entire afternoon sitting at your desk staring at a blank document while your body feels completely heavy, like lead? You have a long list of urgent things to do, yet your mind feels like an old radio tuned between two stations, filled with nothing but a violent, static noise. To the outside world, you look like you're just being lazy or unmotivated, but inside your mind, there is a silent, exhausting storm of guilt and pure frustration. You are not lazy, nor do you lack discipline. You are currently trapped in a modern cognitive state called the whispering mind. Out of habit, we start labeling ourselves as failures. But the truth is that this inability to focus is actually a survival mechanism shaped by your nervous system. Your brain perceives the deep, sudden quietness of a single task as an unnatural, uncomfortable vacuum that signals a hidden threat. Instead of letting you dive deep, your survival network forces your eyes to look away, constantly scanning for any random distraction to fill the terrifying silence. To truly understand why we can't stay still, we have to completely let go of a common misconception that focus is merely a choice of willpower. In psychology and modern neuroscience, we know that our attention is divided into two completely different systems: attention span and cognitive depth. Think of your attention span as a simple flashlight on your phone, instinctively designed to quickly scan your surroundings to keep you aware of danger. Because of this evolutionary design, this flashlight is inherently restless, hopping from one object to another to monitor the environment for survival. Your cognitive depth, however, operates like a heavy-duty laser cutter that anchors itself to a single point with intense heat, staying there long enough to alter the material beneath. The most fatal mistake we make in the 21st century is trying to force our restless flashlight to act like an invincible laser cutter through sheer brute force. We believe that if we just grit our teeth, punish our tired hearts, and stare harder, focus will magically happen. But the part of the brain responsible for logic, the prefrontal cortex, cannot function properly without a filter system called the thalamus, the brain's internal traffic controller. When you are overwhelmed by modern chronic stress, the traffic controller panics and completely stops filtering the background noise of your daily life. Suddenly, a low battery notification, a distant car horn, or a painful memory from 5 years ago all get equal priority in your brain, leaving you perpetually drained. The nervous system doesn't just lose its ability to concentrate overnight. It is a conditioned state of chaos shaped over time. If you feel helpless because you constantly drift away during work, it is usually the result of one of two deeply rooted psychological causes. Because one is the echo chamber of anticipation, which is a silent trap that triggers every time you keep your phone just an arm's length away. Your brain immediately enters a high alert state of waiting, meaning you aren't processing the work on your screen. You are subconsciously budgeting energy for the next notification. Your mind becomes like an old lighthouse keeper, constantly looking out at a dark sea, expecting a ship that never arrives, draining your battery before you even finish a sentence. Cause 2 is the fear of creative emptiness, which deeply affects individuals who tend to process their emotions internally. For these souls, sitting down to focus means confronting the messy, unorganized room of their own loud and chaotic thoughts when the external noise stops. We check social media not because we are lazy, but because the sudden drop in stimulation feels like a scary, sudden drop in altitude. Disconnection feels highly unsafe to your nervous system, so it immediately flips the switch back into the comforting chaos of multitasking to escape the quiet. So the real question becomes, How do we reach a scattered mind without using the harsh chains of toxic discipline and self-punishment? The true relief you need does not come from aggressive blocking apps, but from a beautiful psychological concept called the anchored pause. You need to build safe entry points for your brain, signaling to your nervous system that it is completely safe to slow down before you demand output. Try starting your session with a physical anchor that acts as a sensory boundary, bridging the wide gap between modern chaos and deep stillness. It could be the simple act of putting on noise-canceling headphones without playing any music, or choosing to light a single candle on your desk before you begin. This repetitive ritual tells your brain that the traffic outside is finally closed, sending a message that you are safe here and nothing else is required today. Furthermore, we must learn to practice attention forgiveness, the exact moment your mind inevitably drifts away to another random thought. Forcing your mind act with anger is like violently yanking a leash on a frightened puppy. It only makes your tired heart more anxious to run away next time. Instead, notice the drift gently, label it as just a thought, and guide your awareness back to the center, like a wise boat captain softly steering against a current. True focus is never a frozen, static state of absolute perfection. It is a continuous, beautiful dance of drifting away and gently returning. You are a deep, vast ocean that simply needs a moment of absolute stillness before the heavy sediment can finally settle and the water can become clear. Forgive your tired heart for needing a break from the relentless noise of a world that never truly learns to stop and breathe. Slowly, the lead in your limbs will turn back into the light of a new day, and your natural clarity will return, one quiet, gentle breath at a time. Deep beneath the frost of your frantic thoughts, your soul is gathering strength. You are not lost in the shadows. You are simply waiting for the right light.